Are you looking for 10 best things to do in Yellowstone? Yellowstone is thought for its red-tinged canyon partitions and awe-inspiring herbal wonders like Old Faithful and Mammoth Hot Springs. However, you cannot leave out exploring a number of the park's trekking trails and basins for putting perspectives of the park's waterfalls, forests, and alpine lakes. The Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone's trails are especially famous with adventurous tourists. Other park sports embody the whole thing, from horseback using withinside the backcountry to fishing on the lake. So plan to hit the webweb sites that cater in your interests. Venture to Yellowstone Lake for a boating day trip, or head north to Hayden Valley or northeast to Lamar Valley for supernatural world-looking possibilities. Here is the list of 10 best things to do in Yellowstone. 1. Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. Formed over hundreds of years of abrasion resulting from hydrothermal activity, water, and different herbal forces, the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone is the #1 appeal withinside the Canyon Village Place and one of the park's maximum famous trekking spots. The canyon stretches about 20 miles lengthy and among 1,500 to 4,000 toes extensive. The canyon is 1,000 toes deep, and the couple of falls that cascade down the Yellowstone River, consisting of upper falls and lower falls, pour out as much as 63,500 gallons of water. And if that failed to galvanize you enough, the Yellowstone River, which runs through the Grand Canyon, is greater than 600 miles lengthy, making it the longest undammed river withinside the continental U.S. Recent traffic agree that the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone is a fantastic sight that by no means must be overlooked at some point of your journey to Yellowstone National Park. Many had been bowled over with the aid of using the geographic info of the canyon, consisting of its many colors and rock formations, noting that you are assured to get incredible pictures in case you come right here. Others advised making plans your journey around sunlight and exploring each the north and south rims rather than simply one or the different. Another tip: to keep away from crowds. It is high quality to go to this appeal early. 2. Old Faithful. This world-famous geyser is a must-see for each Yellowstone visitor. Although it is not the biggest energetic geyser withinside the world, Old Faithful's eruptions are sincerely awe-inspiring, averaging round 130 toes excessive, and most significantly frequent. It is one in almost effective 6 geysers withinside the park whose eruptions are predictable. As such, Old Faithful lives as much as its name, erupting among 30 to 110 mins, with the eruption lasting approximately 1 to 5 minutes. During this time, a whopping 700 to 400 gallons of water spew out of the geyser. There are multiple approaches you could behold Old Faithful's power. You can be part of the hordes of travelers who acquire across the perimeter, or you could revel in the mile-lengthy hike out to observation point for a bird's-eye view of the upper geyser basin. Many latest traffic selected to acquire across the instant perimeters of the geyser and had been taken aback with the aid of using what they saw. They observed the eruption to be incredible and really well worth the wait. Several traffic pronounced ready an extended time for the geyser to erupt, however stated the various surrounding benches help with killing time. It's vital to understand that due to the fact that is the maximum famous appeal withinside the park, crowds are to be expected. 3. Grand Prismatic Spring. The Midway Geyser Basin's Grand Prismatic Spring is one in all the biggest warm springs withinside the world, measuring about 370 toes in length and round 121 toes deep. But its rainbow waters are what without a doubt make it charming, while the middle of the pool's cerulean hue is quite characteristic. The deep reds and greens, vivid yellows, and fiery oranges encircling the rims are now no longer. These hues are resulting from thermophilic microorganisms that thrive at the wealthy minerals produced with the aid of using the water round the new spring. The middle seems blue, however simply is not. The blue wavelengths of mild are scattered, so we see blue while we gaze upon the spring. 4. Hayden Valley. One of the high-quality locations to trap a glimpse of Yellowstone's charming natural world is Hayden Valley. This lush valley north of Yellowstone Lake is a pretty visited collecting area for bison, elk, coyotes, and grizzly bears. In fact, Hayden Valley is domestic to the biggest rut of loose roaming bison withinside the world. While you could get an amazing view of the valley from the Grand Loop Road and its various lookout factors, don't forget going the greater mile to absorb the splendor of the valley. There are trails to be had withinside the Hayden Valley. The Hayden Valley Trail runs parallel to the Yellowstone River from Yellowstone Lake to the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, whilst the Mary Mountain Trail travels throughout the valley east to west. Keep in thoughts each of those trails are greater than 13 miles lengthy. If you are not up for the venture to finish the complete path, Pass as some distance as you could and head return simply to get a flavor of the Hayden Valley on foot. 5. Mammoth Hot Springs. Sitting simply south of the north entrance withinside the aptly named Mammoth Hot Springs place, Mammoth Hot Springs is one of the park's greater particular attractions, known for its terraces, shaped over centuries of warm water effervescent up from the ground. Cooling and depositing calcium carbonate, Mammoth Hot Springs travertine formations are regularly defined as herbal sculptures. The National Park Service describes the site as a cave grew to become in or out, according to latest traffic. Mammoth Hot Springs is an incredible spectacle that cannot be overlooked. For a number of the appeal's high-quality perspectives, tourists advocate on foot as much as the upper terraces. Hikers, meanwhile, can revel in longer treks on one and all Yellowstone's trekking trails, lots of which begin close to the springs. If you are inquisitive about Yellowstone history, numerous tourists advise sorting out the adjoining Albright Visitor Center, which functions shows at the park's herbal and cultural history, in addition to current well-known shows showcasing the particular natural world observed withinside the park's northern range. The facility remains open-year spherical. 6. Upper Geyser Basin. This geyser basin can regularly be left outweigh to its super-mega celebrity appeal. Old Faithful, but Upper Geyser Basin carries a lot greater than simply Old Faithful. In fact, Upper Geyser Basin is the area in which you will locate now no longer most effective the biggest awareness of geysers withinside the park, however additionally withinside the complete world. So once you see Old Faithful erupt, make sure to meander round to find out the greater than 150 hydrothermal functions at some point of this place. It's vital to understand that Upper Geyser Basin is quite big, stretching from Biscuit Basin withinside the north to Old Faithful withinside the south, and Black Sand Basin to the east, with lots of geysers and warm springs in among. You can actually see all regions in a single day, with Biscuit Basin and Old Faithful positioned simply greater than 3 miles apart. If you without a doubt loved Old Faithful's eruption and would love to peer greater, understand that Riverside, Daisy, Grand, and Castle geysers all erupt, and the National Park Service gives expected eruption instances on its website. If you without a doubt favored the Grand Prismatic Spring and need to peer greater colorful pools, test out the Morning Glory Pool and the Sapphire Pool. 7. Yellowstone Lake. Sitting withinside the coronary heart of Yellowstone's West Thumb Place is Yellowstone Lake, the park's biggest frame of water and the biggest excessive elevation lake above 7,000 toes in North America. The lake is 20 miles lengthy, 14 miles extensive, and functions 141 miles of shoreline. You cannot swim in right here, however you could recognize the surroundings through trekking trails, together along with your fishing pole in hand or on a boat. It is vital to word that the lake freezes over with the aid of using early December and may live that manner till early June. There are numerous hikes you could take to recognize the beauty of Yellowstone Lake. Easier trails encompass the 0.6-mile Pelican Creek Nature Trail and the 3-mile Storm Point Trail. If you are searching out greater of adventure, don't forget the 3.5-mile Elephant Back Mount Trail or the Greater Strennis 7-mile Avalanche Peak Trail, each of which give panoramic perspectives of the lake from every of the summits. 8. Norris Geyser Basin. Old Faithful can be Yellowstone's maximum famous geyser. However, this geothermal spot withinside the Norris Place is the park's oldest and hottest. From its boardwalks, traffic can see uncommon acid geysers like Etchinus Geyser, in addition to the tallest energetic geyser withinside the world, Steamboat Geyser. The purpose this geyser basin is so warm is because of intersecting fault traces that lie under the place's surface. Although the basin's geysers hardly ever erupt, latest tourists pretty advise sorting out this geothermal place, announcing it is in different worldly area and the high-quality geyser basin in Yellowstone. A few, however, warning that it is able to get crowded and run out of parking areas at the principal lot, so don't forget arriving early or overdue withinside the day. 9. Mystic Falls Trail. Of all of the 900 miles of trails to be had in Yellowstone National Park, Mystic Falls Trail is one in all its maximum famous. The purpose for this has to do with its surroundings in addition to the length. The path is most effective 4 miles out and returned, and commonly takes maximum hikers among and 4 hours to finish, making it plenty greater workable than the various longer, greater difficult trails at some point of Yellowstone. Along the Mystic Falls Trail you will biskip with the aid of using combined conifer forestry and a creek, and subsequently you will hit the 70 feet tall Mystic Falls cascading down a rocky panorama under the Madison Plateau. After you ogle the falls, don't forget going the greater mile and climb the switchbacks that cause a quite stunning forget-about of Upper Geyser Basin. Recent traffic very well loved this path, and observe the falls specially to be fantastic beautiful. Some encourage trekking the greater one, 5 miles to the upper Geyser Basin. Forget about however did warn that this a part of the path is greater strenuous, noting the steep elevation gain. Other tourists pretty advised bringing vital components consisting of enough water, sunscreen, Trojan horse spray, and undergo spray. One traveler cited that they had been mins far from coming head to head with the undergo. Reminder, the entirety of Yellowstone is undergo country, so the chance of seeing undergo, especially on trails far from famous sites, is excessive. 10. Lamar Valley, located among Yellowstone's northeast entrance and Mammoth Hot Springs within the Tower Roosevelt area. Lamar Valley is a natural world haven. In fact, this valley is regularly cited as America's Serengeti as it has an abundance of animals. Bison are maximum normally noticed right here. However, you can additionally trap a glimpse of grizzly bears, bald eagles, and wolves. Lamar Valley is on the market through Beartooth Highway. There are lots of lookout factors alongside the manor. If you want to head past the lookout factors, don't forget trekking the 7-mile lengthy Lamar Valley Trail. Previous traffic stated passing through Lamar Valley is a must. You'll have enough possibilities to peer animals, especially bison. Just don't forget to in no way feed or get too near the valley's animals. The National Park Service recommends staying as a minimum 100 yards far from wolves and bears, and 25 or greater yards far from different creatures like bison and elk to keep away from getting too close. Don't forget bringing binoculars with you.